All right, fight fans, welcome. We're here to dive deep into the upcoming UFC Paris showdown between Nassourdine Imavov and Caio Borralho. Strap yourselves in, because this is gonna be one wild breakdown. The sniper, Nassourdine Imavov versus Caio Borralho, a battle of equals. Folks, get a load of these odds. Even money across the board, 1.85 for both fighters. You don't see that every day, and let me tell you, when you do, it usually means we're in for an absolute barn burner. This is where legends are made. Imavov's path of destruction. Nassourdine the Sniper Imavov is on an absolutely blistering 4-fight win streak. We're talking about a murderer's row of opponents he's taken down in the last year and a half. Roman Dolidze, Jared Cannonier, Brendan Allen, and even the legendary Israel Adesanya. Now, if you look at that list, you'll see a wild stylistic mix. We've got the elite strikers in Adesanya and Cannonier, the ground wizardry of Brendan Allen, and the relentless toughness of Roman Dolidze. Imavov has found a way to crack every single one of these puzzles, and often it hasn't been easy. Remember that Adesanya fight? Izzy was looking sharp until Imavov landed that knockout blow. And against Allen, he dropped the first round due to a grappling onslaught. But that's the beauty of the sniper. He doesn't crumble under pressure. In fact, adversity seems to ignite something special in him. His jab is crisp, his timing is impeccable, and he's got those underrated grappling skills. You simply cannot let Imavov get comfortable in there. Once he smells blood, once he feels that he's got the upper hand, it's usually lights out for his opponent. That first round against Adesanya, Izzy was looking quicker to settle in, landing some good shots and even outstriking Nassourdine. Imavov was just patiently scouting, trying to find his rhythm and looking for openings against Izzy. But after dropping that first round, he came out in the second like a man possessed, shaking Adesanya with his very first attack. And in classic Imavov fashion, he didn't let that opportunity slip away. Adesanya was finished. It was a similar story against Brendan Allen. Imavov gave up the first round, but not on the feet, on the ground. Allen took him down and controlled him for almost 5 minutes, 4 minutes and 45 seconds of control time. It looked like the fight was slipping away, but Imavov only needed that one round to adjust, to figure out Allen's game. In the next 2 rounds, he absolutely dominated on the feet and matched Allen's intensity in the grappling exchanges. While Allen was trying to smother him, Imavov was constantly active, throwing strikes, making Allen work. He ground out a tough 29-28 decision victory. And even against Cannonier, Imavov dropped the first round. It's almost become his bizarre calling card. He doesn't rush things in the opening minutes, and he's not afraid to concede that first 5 minutes. And there's a real advantage to that. Not every fighter can overcome adversity when a fight immediately goes south. But, all right, we've got a pretty clear picture of Nassourdine now. What about Caio Borralho? Borralho, the natural on the hunt. The natural Caio Borralho starts calmly, but he generally prefers to win that first round. He's not coming out like a wild man, but he's also not letting his opponents take the initiative. He's got some nasty kicks, solid striking, and yes, he's got grappling in his locker too. When he first arrived in the UFC, we saw a lot more of that grappling. He was looking to take opponents down and control them whenever he could. But with each fight, the grappling has become less and less prominent. In his last fight against Cannonier, Caio completely abandoned the wrestling and spent the entire fight outstriking his opponent from range. The Brazilian is light on his feet, allowing him to launch attacks from a safe distance and then swiftly move out of harm's way, avoiding damage. That was the blueprint against Cannonier, who can sometimes become a little stagnant. And with each passing round, that fight became easier and easier for Caio. He ended up taking 4 out of 5 rounds. Now,
Caio's opposition has generally been a little less star-studded than Imavov's. He's faced fewer top contenders, but make no mistake, nobody has handed him anything. Amar Gadzhiev, Muradov, Alexei Chukov, Petrosian, Abus Magomed. These guys aren't in the top 10, but they are incredibly tough, dangerous opponents. Some fighters in the top 15 have far less impressive resumes than Caio Borralho. So, both Nassourdine and Caio have traveled a long way to get to this point, and for both fighters, there's only one final step: win this upcoming fight. And by the way, these two guys don't exactly like each other. They've been trading jabs and insults on social media, and Borralho's team even openly disrespected Imavov. And knowing Nassourdine, I highly doubt all of that will go unnoticed during fight week. So, not only are we in for a potentially phenomenal fight, but also a fascinating build-up before the opening bell. Who takes it? That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? I'd love to say it's 50-50, but then you'd probably never tune into my videos again. I'm leaning towards Nassourdine Imavov here. I'm giving him about a 60% chance of success. Borralho ultimately is one of those guys who prefers to stand and strike, and in that aspect, Nassourdine inevitably adjusts to his opponent over time and finds the right key to victory. And fighters who successfully navigate through adversity always win me over. Some might see it as a flaw, thinking, oh, he didn't have a perfect fight. He gave up a little in grappling, a little in striking. But for me, that's always a plus, because in a competitive fight, you're going to find yourself in tough situations sooner or later, and your ability to overcome those challenges is a massive advantage. So, I'm sticking with Nassourdine Imavov for the win. How it all plays out? We'll find out very soon. Smash that like button, drop your predictions in the comments, and it'd be awesome if you could throw in a couple of arguments for your pick.